हसरत है हमारी बाबा, कर दो वो पूरी आके। मिल जाओ प्यारे बाबा हम बच्चों से आके। मिल जाओ प्यारे बाबा हम बच्चों से आके।
बाप दादा खुश हो रहे थे, कई बच्चों ने पत्र और चिट्ठी लिखी है, कब 108 में आएंगे। बहुत चिट्ठियां आई। बाप दादा ने सोचा जब इतने 108 में आएंगे तो 108 की माला ट्रिपल 5 लहरों की बनानी पड़ेगी। बनाए ना 5, 6, 7, 8 जितनी भी लहरें बन जाए उतनी बनाएंगे। जिन्होंने संकल्प किया है, लक्ष्य रखा है, बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन सिर्फ इस संकल्प को बीच बीच में दृढ़ करते रहना, ढीला नहीं करना। आएंगे पता नहीं, माया आ गई, आएंगे या नहीं आएंगे पता नहीं करना नहीं, पता कर लिया आना है। दृढ़ता का टप्पा लगाते रहना। मुझे आना है, कुछ भी हो जाए मेरा निश्चय अटल अखंड है, अखंड है, अटल है। भेजे माया को हिलाने, भेजे माया को हिलाने के लिए भेजे नहीं, डरती हूँ। माया आपसे डरती है और आप माया से डरते हो। माया अपने दरवाजे देखती है, यहाँ खुला हुआ है, यहाँ खुला हुआ है, ढूंढती रहती है। आप घबराते क्यों? कुछ नहीं है माया, कुछ नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं, आ नहीं सकती, आ नहीं सकती तो आएंगे। क्या करें? तो माया का दरवाजा खोला, आह्वान किया। अच्छी बात है कि बहुत बच्चों ने 108 का बाप को प्रॉमिस किया है ना। आप जो यहाँ बैठे हो उनमें से हाथ उठाओ जिसने देखा है मैं 108 में आएंगे। हाथ उठाओ जिन्होंने निश्चय किया है कि 108 में आएंगे। हाथ उठाओ, छोटा हाथ उठा रहे, लंबा उठाओ, ड्रिल करो अच्छी तरह से। अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा, मुबारक मुबारक मुबारक।
बड़ी मन भावनी मुरली प्रेम से प्राणों को सींचे, रसीली तान की ये डोर आपकी ओर ही खींचे, आपकी ओर ही खींचे। रूहानी स्नेह का जादू आपकी मीठी बातों में, रूहानी स्नेह का जादू आपकी मीठी बातों में।
Om Shanti. In order to experience this stage of liberation in life, become free from bondage, always have zeal and enthusiasm. In Brahmin life, laziness and carelessness are big bondages. These become obstacles to your reaching the highest destination, and therefore become free from them. Always have zeal and enthusiasm, and anything difficult will become easy. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vyakti Parivar. Today is day 21. In order to experience the stage of liberation in life, become free from bondage. Today's topic: always have zeal and enthusiasm. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. Happy Sadguruvar. I'm sure each one of you experienced Baba's love, Baba's lap, Baba's blessings. And I'm sure each one of you must have realized what it requires to experience God's love. Right? Did you all? Baba says everything is so subtle, so incognito. And to have constantly experience, we have to have our intellect often during day going beyond or maintaining the awareness of whose task is this. It's not I have to do so much. There is work to do. There are things to do. There are so many things, right? But if there is this awareness, is Baba's task, then as a karma yogi, there will be lightness. There will be a lot of feelings of what we are receiving from Baba. So singing with happiness, dancing, we will do Baba's task, right? And that's how it should be like, right? Sometimes it's overwhelming, it's more. Many of you have locking jobs and you want to be present in a Vyakti Parivar immediately, right? But if there is right awareness, then the experience at every step what we're receiving from Baba. Otherwise, it's like I'm doing it, it's like keep doing it, right? But it should be like what I'm receiving all the time. And then when there is receiving, there is lightness, there is joy, there is happiness. Because confluence age is really an age where we have to be with God and constantly just feeling His presence. And when we do that, then others around us can also have that experience. If I am enjoying my attainments, then others look at my face, my vibrations, my presence, and they start experiencing the attainments also. So maybe at present, this is the effort which is required to experience closeness to Baba. Because yes, in intellect we have faith, but we have to celebrate that meeting with Baba all the time. And this definitely will help us to have a lot of enthusiasm. Otherwise, naturally it's a lot to do. So say body feels tired, intellect could feel tired. Sometimes it does happen. You just want to have deep silence of intellect. You don't want to even think. So why not we give ourselves that time, either during traffic control, instead of 3 minutes, you do 10 minutes. But because our intellect is pulled in action, sometimes we don't even do 3 minutes, right? So Baba has given us timetable, practices in such a way that we can remain charged. We can remain full of power, love, and very, very joyful, happy. Right? So when there is enthusiasm, there will be success. So keep adding wherever it's possible word Baba. Just keep adding Baba's task, Baba's family, Brahma Bhojan, Baba's Bandara. So word Baba, wherever it's possible, by using it, and Baba keep responding there, right? Yes, Baba. Baba will say, yes, children, I am present. And that presence of Baba, especially when souls come for their spiritual recharging or whatever, they could experience that lot. So we will do it, right? And others will also experience it. Because it's a spiritual family, it's for spiritual sharing, it's for spiritual progress. So even if it's, as Baba said, we need facilities. But even while using, we are not depending. Our intellect is with Baba, and there is a lot of, as Baba says, love, power, and blessings at every step in our life. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Avyakti Parivar. Om Shanti Judy Ben.
Om Shanti Avyakti Parivar. Very nice to see you, Sister Shireen.
Very nice to see you too. I was really enjoying Mohini Didi sharing. I was like, oh, don't end.
I don't think there's much for us to add.
I was thinking of what she was saying about, connecting today's Abyak signal with what she's saying. That she was saying that you have to go into silence. That many times you just want to go into silence and you don't even do a 1 minute traffic control, but you really need the intellect needs to go into silence. It's so counterintuitive when you think about it, that when the intellect goes into silence, there's so many things that come up, right? Like enthusiasm, determination, courage, so many qualities, actually, the qualities of the soul come up.
Mm-hmm. I've always felt that silence, this yogic, it's a very specific kind of silence. It's not just, sort of physical, sensory deprivation, but a very different kind of silence. It's always felt like, I love the word recharge that Didi was using. It's so important to energy management. That's really what I felt she was talking about, was managing my energy and keeping it in such an elevated place, this enthusiasm. But when I go into silence, it really feels like a reset. And I'll be honest, sometimes I might be in settings where I can't sit for a minute, but I'd like to manage my energy. So I have what I call these spa moments, where I might be walking or taking the elevator to the next. And in those few seconds, I go and touch that very unique silence with myself and Baba, and it's a complete instant injection. It's like I've gone to a spa. It's a complete reset. So I think for me, the integrating moments of silence to manage to have that habit, or if you will, that discipline, which I think the signal's touching on, disciplines versus laziness, but to have this discipline of integrating silence helps me to sustain my energy, my enthusiasm as I go through the day. And I know that when I visited you quite a while ago, this was before you were in that beautiful center that we saw inaugurated the other day. But when I went to visit you, I was quite amused and inspired because I think I don't know how many projects you had going simultaneously. And you were, you just, oh, I've got this, and yet your enthusiasm your energy was so well managed. And so I know that Didi gave many beautiful tips and ideas in her sharing. So maybe it's about what those look like practically, but what's your experience of managing your energy whilst having so much happening for you and Baba's task?
I remember when you were sharing about spa moments, I remember when I was working, I used to go into the bathroom at regular intervals just to have traffic control. And I remember the secretary, because you had to walk past her to go to the bathroom. She was like, why do you go to the bathroom so often? Right. And so whatever it takes to manage. I don't know. I don't think I'm any busier than anyone else, really. For me, the Murli is very sustaining. The Murli is very sustaining. I don't listen to many classes. I do listen to Avyakti Parivar. And every day I really do get something very fresh from Mohini Didi. And I feel like, like for her, it's a download and I'm getting something fresh. And so the Murli is very sustaining. I always read the Murli a few times. And today's Murli for me was about keeping new things, right? Baba was saying, keep new things in your mind. And so I remember this one time when Dadi Janki was in Peace Village one time, and she was sharing, we heard such new things when we came, like, in the 60s and stuff. And then, like, for her, she was sharing, like, even these are such new things, right? Like, she heard it for 70 years and she still feels those are new things. And so I keep contrasting and say, okay, this is new, I didn't know. This is new, I didn't know. So those things really keep my enthusiasm going. How about you, Judy?
Well, actually, I love what you just shared, because I think sometimes, not for anyone here in Avyakti Parivar, but sometimes souls feel like there's no freshness or newness in their study. But for me, always feeling like I'm back in grade 1, and what's Baba going to say in the Murli today? And it always feels new. So the enthusiasm around the basics of Brahmin life are essential. But I was actually thinking a lot about one of the things that we're deeply trained on as fitness instructors. So fitness instructors, our duty is to be very enthusiastic, sometimes annoyingly so, right? We just look like these energetic, I don't know, rockets or something. We always have to be high energy, really enthusiastic, make everyone enthusiastic, keep everyone enthusiastic. So you have to carry not only your own energy, but the energy of the group you're with. And there's a rule we're actually trained in, that as a fitness instructor, never go in there and talk about your problems. They're not interested. You have to go in there. It's about them. And I've always appreciated, so this is kind of a discipline, that you're very careful with your thoughts and your words and your actions as a fitness instructor. So when I saw this laziness and carelessness in the signal, it was actually reminding me a lot, and Didi talked about it too, love and law. She talked a lot about, this is very trendy now, the words powered by, but she talked a lot about being powered by God's love. And also just powered by love for the family, love for Baba's task, love for the self. Love is a great, whenever I feel I'm sort of, I just think, I think about what I love, love Baba's task, love Baba, love the family, love my own personal development. So love's a really strong energy to keep my enthusiasm, but also law, in that, as the fitness instructor, there's disciplines of what we're allowed to think and not think, and attitudes. So also Didi touched on that, the disciplines of daily life, to make sure, yes, that there is that enthusiasm for study, etc. So right now, Baba's saying, be so careful about waste. And this discipline, like waste is a sign of inefficiency, as you know, in your studies, that when something's not efficient, there's waste, which means really bad energy management. So good energy management has very little waste. So I'm really keeping an eye, being very, very careful, full of care about the quality of my attitudes and thoughts and visions because of Baba's inspiration.
When you were talking about law, I was thinking, people say that, oh, I'm so hard on myself, right? But I think we are too lenient with ourselves. We don't know how to administer self-love and self-law. We don't know how to manage both of them. Today, Baba was talking about children, right? You talk to children this way, you don't smack them, you don't do this. But I was thinking, we are children too. Like, how am I administering self-love and how am I administering self-law, right? And so if I'm not serious, if I don't find out that these are the moments of carelessness that I've had during the day, and I don't have lay down the law that there are consequences for this, like don't keep doing this, that if I don't lay down the law for myself, because no one else is going to come and parent me, I have to learn to parent myself. And so, yes, there has to be love, but also there has to be a certain law towards what you're doing. Like, you can't keep doing the same mistakes and just think, oh, it's okay. There has to be consequences, I think.
Absolutely. Please continue.
Like, I was especially thinking of what Didi was saying about traffic control, right? If you decided, let's say you decided in your chart that you would do 5 minutes of traffic control every hour, and you haven't even done 1 minute every hour, then you need to have some consequence. It can't just be like, oh, yeah, I did it, but it was okay. I had a plan, but nothing happened.
Well, I think there's natural consequences that nothing's going to happen, like expecting a different result when I'm not doing anything. But I agree with you 200%. I loved it in the Murli. I actually felt, especially with the blessing, this wasteful creation, he was actually talking about how I manage myself, to discipline the self with love. So I need to guide the self. I think Baba's an expert on this. Guide the self, that there are consequences, or there aren't going to be results that I'm hoping for if I don't do X, Y, Z. But to do it with such a sense, when I think of the love, with such a sense of respect for the self, and that might be the missing piece. In terms of the athletic world, you have to be very, very self-disciplined. And the souls I see that are the most self-disciplined and able to take correction are the ones that have the most confidence or most secure in themselves. So I think if there isn't that sense of my own respect and regard and value for the self, there may not be that care, if you will, or discipline. But it's absolutely essential. Baba is giving me all the resources, but it's what I do with it. Absolutely.
Right. I remember what Baba used to do, right? He used to say that when he was in the path of bhakti, he would his mind would wander and he would pinch himself, slap himself. I'm not saying we should pinch and slap ourselves. I'm not saying that, but there should be some kind of consequence, right? Some kind of consequence that I do. If I say I'm going to do something, I have to be accountable to myself and say and do it.
Yeah. So we'll develop that self-respect so we can do it without feeling bad.
Yes, yes.
So that we actually progress. But I know we've reached a moment where we're going to engage in a very beautiful discipline. I think we're going to have, a little meditation, yes?
Yes.
Hmm. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to the happy world of our Vyakti children. Season 3, Day 21. So today we have two angels with us, Angel Sister Manu and Angel Sister Shreya. So welcome both angels with their family. Welcome.
Om Shanti Advaiti Parivar, Om Shanti Om Mohini Didi, and Om Shanti Sister Judy. My name is Manu. This is my sister Shreya, and this is my mom's sister Vasavi.
Om Shanti.
Shanti, lovely to meet all three angels. Really very sweet. So I think you have questions, yes?
Yes, so may I start with my first question?
Sure, thank you.
So, my first question is time is running out, so how can we do more meditation?
Sounds very stressful, that question. So I've always felt it's a really beautiful question, and I've always felt that time is precious always. So I never really feel the pressure of time. I don't think that ever really helps me to improve. I'm aware it's there, but more I think about how can I make this moment very precious. I'm always aware time is precious. So I don't know the realities of your day. I assume you're in school and you've got other things going on. So Baba loves a natural yogi. Do you know what a natural yogi is? Sort of. A natural yogi is, we have seated meditation, and it's really, really important, really important. But actually also just being with Baba during the day in a natural way, taking him to school, even when I'm with people, Baba's kind of in my company too. So this is a natural yogi. So it makes every moment a little bit more special. And then it just seems like I'm naturally meditating without having to find extra time. So learning how to take Baba with me wherever I go. So I'm a natural yogi, and then I'm just meditating throughout the day. Really good use of time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you, sister. That's nice. So, my second question is on social media and YouTube, there are a lot of trends that people know about, and sometimes if you don't know about these trends, kids in school could make fun of you for not knowing because like everyone like knows about all these, and like if you're the only one who doesn't know, it makes you feel like the only one left out. So is it the right decision to know about all the trends or like just follow your own path? Like,
Well, I'll be honest, I rarely know what's going on as well. I'm really not up on the trends, so you're not alone. But actually, you know the most important trend of all. You know what God is up to, you know what's happening in the world. So you have really, really important information. And on the basis of knowing that, you can decide what else you want to know. So I always think, I feel I know so little. I'll be honest, I'm sure you know much more than me. But I always say, but what do I need to know at this time, given that the world is going through changes? What's really important to know? We live in a world where we collect information just for the sake of collecting information, but it may not be that helpful. So I know that sometimes you might feel a little bit out of the loop, and it's okay. I respect other people, that they're doing what's important to them, but also, yes, to do what's important to you, given that you know the biggest trend of all, what Baba has told you. So respecting others, but also respecting yourself.
that was really nice, sister. So I have one more question. So a lot of people procrastinate these days. For example, when you have homework or normal work to do, people say they'll do it later because they feel lazy sometimes and don't want to do it. So how do we avoid getting into those problems and procrastinating?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one, isn't it? A lot to do with our signal today about zeal and enthusiasm, how to feel enthusiastic about doing the things that we really have a responsibility to do. And I think you sometimes have to figure out how you operate. I know for me, I don't like feeling any stress at all. So I always have a plan. I'm aware. I write down the things I know I have to do. So I'm aware, and I'm aware of when they're due. And then I make a plan. Baba loves us to make plans so that we don't experience stress. So if I know I have this homework or this, I develop a plan when it's due. I figure out when everything needs to be done. And today it's also about developing love, a lot of love. We don't procrastinate when it's something that we love. Now, I know in school, is there subjects that you love a lot?
Yeah, there are some.
Okay, so what's an example of a subject in school you love a lot?
Well, I like English and music. Like,
Wow, those are great. And is there a subject that you're maybe not so keen on?
um, well, I sort of struggle with math sometimes.
Math is strange. I can understand that. So, what I used to do, I would do the subjects that I'm not so excited about or struggle with first. And then my reward would be the subjects I really like. So, to manage it so that I get through this and then I get to do this, because sometimes we'll just do the things we like and suddenly all the things we don't like are left and we just want to run away. So, be inspired by the things that you love. Do what you can with the things that are a bit struggling, and then reward yourself with the things you love. Leave the English and music for after the math. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Be
it
powered by
does.
that.
Thank you, sister.
Great questions. They're going to make me think about what I'm doing during the day. So thank you. And
Thank
Sheila.
you. So, yeah. Shanti sister. My first question is, when I write a letter to Baba, why does he sometimes not reply to me?
Sometimes, even when we're talking with someone, and it might be right now, you might say, Sister Judy does not seem to be answering my question. So, Baba always does, in some way, through Murli, some way, answer our questions. But the issue is that we might be expecting a certain answer and he's giving a different one. So we don't hear it. We were expecting something else. I remember with Daddy Janki, it was really fascinating to watch her in question and answer with the Brahmin family. What she would do is she'd ask everyone to ask their questions and she'd listen. And then she'd start to speak. And it didn't seem like she was speaking at all to what everyone had asked. But then later, when we reflected on what she said, we realized she was completely speaking to what had been asked. So Baba does answer our questions, but sometimes it takes a little bit for us to hear what he said. We're listening for a different answer. And so we miss the one that he gives, but he always answers our questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you, sister.
Did you have other questions?
Yeah. My second question is, how can I connect to Baba?
So Baba is definitely reaching out to connect to you. But he's in such an elevated state. He has a lot of love and regard for you. You are like a precious jewel to him. So he's in this really incredible headspace trying to connect you. But if I'm not feeling great about myself, then it's really difficult. Have you ever been with someone and they're looking at you, but you feel a little bit shy or insecure, so you look down? Have you ever had that situation where you kind of look down or look away, you don't look them in the eye? So there's not a connection because I'm feeling shy or a bit uncomfortable or awkward. So to be able to connect to Baba, I have to be on the same wavelength. I have to be in a real deep state of self-respect. So we've heard Baba say so many times, consider yourself to be a soul and remember me. And what he's really saying is have deep, deep regard for yourself, and then we can connect. Does that make any sense?
Yes, thank you, sister.
Great questions.
Thank you, sister.
Wow.
Those are all our questions.
Yeah, Om Shanti sister. I also have a question. I want to know how to have harmony between siblings of different age groups. She's
So
12.
you're not
She's
talking about these two.
And I have a little one who is 3. So 12,
Oh,
3.
wow. First
So
off, you have all my respect. And you have the good wishes of the entire Avyakti part of our family. I have to say, and the family can give their feedback as well with a wave if they want, but I haven't met the 3-year-old, but from meeting these two, you're doing a phenomenal job. They're lovely. So I know that we sometimes want things to be a certain way at a certain time, but really trust yourself. Working with Baba, you're doing a phenomenal job. I certainly can't give any advice, but I guess Baba has so much love for the mothers because of this critical role. And so he says, mothers, take from me as much as you need, and then he can work through you. Because these 3 souls you've described, they have their own journey as well. They've been entrusted to your care, but they have their own journey. The best you can do is take care of yourself through your relationship with Baba and give to them whatever you receive from him. But trust me, and the family can show a wave if they want, if they agree, you're doing a phenomenal job. So it's good.
yeah, that's our sister. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you again.
for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mohini Didi. Om Shanti.
It was really lovely to meet you. Om Shanti.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, sister.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, angels, for coming to Avyakti Parivar and also to your family. Thank you. And thank you, Sister Judy. So now tomorrow is Friday and our schedule from Amritwela 3:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. Then in the evening 6 p.m. meditation will start, followed by Hindi series, English series. Happy world of Avyakti children and Avyakti journey. Welcome to Avyakti journey. Avyak Murlis from 1969. Multi-million fold fortune and blessings.
Om Shanti. Avyakt Murli, 10th May 1972. Obeying the orders by staying in self-respect. Little obstacles create a disturbance in your love. Therefore, you should imbibe the power to accommodate. Just as you see the sparkle of happiness on the face, in the same way, you should also be able to see the sparkle of power. You may be easy-natured and simple, but are you as tolerant to the extent that you are easy-natured and simple? Because to have tolerance is also being easy-natured and simple. Together with being easy-natured and simple, you also need the power to accommodate and the power to tolerate. If you do not have the powers to accommodate and to tolerate, then being easy-natured and simple makes you adopt a very innocent form. In some cases, innocence causes a great loss. So do not be easy-natured and simple in that way. Baba is called the Lord of Innocence, but he is not so innocent that he is not able to confront you. Together with being the Lord of Innocence, he is also the Almighty Authority. He is not just the Lord of Innocence. Here, those who are the embodiment of power become innocent, naive, by mistake, and so they are shot by Maya. At the present time, because of your innocence, you are shot by Maya a great deal. Become such an embodiment of power that before Maya opposes you, she salutes you, so that she is then not able to oppose you. You have to remain very cautious, careful, and clever. Check your attitude and the atmosphere. Check your own self to see that no atmosphere is making your attitude weak. No matter what the atmosphere is like, the powerful attitude of the self is able to bring about transformation in the atmosphere. If the atmosphere influences your attitude, then this is innocence, being naive. Do not think, I myself am all right, but I was influenced by the atmosphere. No. No matter how vicious the atmosphere may be, your own attitude should be viceless. Since you say that you are the purifiers, the ones who make the impure ones pure, since you can purify souls, can you not change the atmosphere from being impure and make it pure? Those who purify cannot be under the influence of the atmosphere. However, when the atmosphere influences your attitude, then this is a weakness. Acha, to be continued. Om Shanti. In order to experience the stage of liberation in life, become free from bondage. Always have zeal and enthusiasm. In Brahmin life, laziness, and carelessness are big bondages. These become obstacles to your reaching the highest destination, and therefore become free from them. Always have zeal and enthusiasm, and anything difficult will become easy.
जीवन मुक्त स्थिति का अनुभव करने के लिए बंधनों से मुक्त बनो। सदा उमंग उत्साह में रहो। ब्राह्मण जीवन में आलस्य और अलबेलापन भी बहुत बड़ा बंधन है। ऊंची मंजिल पर पहुंचने के लिए यही विघ्न रूप बनता है। इसलिए आलस्य और अलबेलेपन से भी मुक्त बनो। सदा उमंग उत्साह में रहो, तो मुश्किल भी सहज हो जाएगा। ओम शांति।
Shanti. Om Shanti.